Yo, I got so many bags of money that they won't fit in the bank. And I'ma do this just like Tony did it to Frank. But I'ma make sure both y'all win. Let them keep the place, you move and I'ma pay both y'all rent. So forget about the condo and come to the crib. Cause the castle over the mountain come with the bridge. You know,
Episode of Maximilian Must Know. Got a little bit of a different spin today as we're actually reviewing a Forte set instead of an actual fragrance. The set is from the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian and it is their men's wardrobe. Now, I was sort of having a hard time with the Kurkdjian scent that I wanted a full bottle of. I had tried many. Adriana from Decant Shop had sent me a couple, including the much esteemed Aqua Universalis Forte, and then I bought a bunch of samples from Min, including Absolute Pluriel. Couldn't find one that I really loved. I found Universalis Forte to be a good floral with some citrus, but for this kind of scent, I already have Bergamotto Merino, which I love, and Les Soies was nice, but it's an incense-based scent with some honey, and for that I have Mita, though I do admit that Kurkdjian fragrance has some more animalic qualities to it, and it is a very nice scent. So I was at Bergdorf, and they didn't have By Kilian Intoxicated, which I was really hoping to buy, and I was checking out their new Brioni scent, which just didn't have that much staying power for me, so I wasn't too jazzed on that. And then I saw this. Now with 8 cents, 11 mLs each, so a total of 88 ml, almost 3 ounces of juice for 195 bucks. And what really sold me on it is, I have to be honest, is that their newest men's scent, Masculin Pluriel, and their oud scent, which is $300 by itself, were included. So I went for it, I purchased it, and I believe both Bergdorf and Neiman Marcus both carry this set. But before we talk about the scent and my feelings about the fragrances in it, let's talk about the house for a bit. I'm sure many of you folks know who Francis Kurkdjian is. He's probably one of the 2 or 3 most respected perfumers in the industry. His resume is really spectacular because not only does this guy have a serious hardcore niche fan base, he's also credited with doing scents that have been tremendous money makers. He was born in 1969, thought he wanted to be a dancer, didn't work out the way that he wanted it to, so he decided that he was going to become a perfumer in 1985. And in 1990, he started training at ISIPCA in Versailles, and in 1993 joined Quest International, where he started to make fragrances. In 95 he did Le Male for Jean-Paul Gaultier. It was their first men's scent, and to say that it was a huge success is understating the success of that fragrance. I do want to review that down the line, but let me just say that fragrance is a personal favorite and one that is many a fragrance lover's favorite. Now for me, if Kurkdjian had stopped there, that would have been impressive in its own right, but let me go through some of the more designer scents that he created. He did Dior Homme Cologne, he did Green Tea for Elizabeth Arden, he did Lily Chic for Escada, Armani Mania, Guest Night, Fleur de Mail for Gaultier, Miracle Homme for Lancôme, Narciso Rodriguez for him, F by Ferragamo for women, Jean Couture Glam for Versace, and many more. On the niche side of things, he's done Aqua de Parma's Iris Noble, Eau Noire for the Dior Privé collection, Holy Water for Demeter, Rose Barbar for Galan, Rev and Cure for Indo, Lady Vengeance for Juliet Has a Gun, Rose de Siwa for Parfum MDCI, etc. And then in 2009, Kurkdjian started his own house, Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Now I'm going to be honest with you guys. For me, he's a real feast or famine perfumer. I don't like most of his work, but there are a few that are top 20s in my opinion. Narciso Rodriguez, Le Male, and I happen to think that Eau Noire is an excellent fragrance as well, and one that is very different. In the 4+ years that he's had his own house, it's been really prolific. Over 28 scents in the lineup, an oud collection, overseas exclusives, a Bergdorf exclusive. In New York, you can purchase these scents at Bergdorf and at Oswald, and also at C.O. Bigelow Apothecary. Online, any of those retailers carry them, and Lucky Scent does as well. And as I mentioned, I picked up the wardrobe at Bergdorf for $195. The fragrances that are included, and again, you get 11 mLs of each one. There are 8. You get Aqua Universalis and Aqua Universalis Forte. You get Aqua Vitae. You get APOM. You get Amoris Lumiere Noire, Masculin, Pluriel, and Oud. Now I just want to show you guys how the collection comes. It comes in a box like this. Basic. You have the names of each fragrance on the back and nothing else. And then the way it happens is you open it up here. Do this back here. And then you're left with a box, Maison Francis Kurkdjian, right? And then when you take off the top of the box, which I'm going to do for you guys, you get this. And what this is just a little booklet that lets you know about each fragrance in the collection, lets you know the type of fragrance it is, oriental, spicy, whatever. You can see that there's that description for each one, and it also gives you some background on the house, and so that's included. And then on back of that you have a quote by Kurkdjian: "Perfume is a work of art and it is a transmitted experience of intimacy." So you have that quote from Kurkdjian, and then your fragrances all go in here. I'll show you how one sits, but we're going to go through each one. So just like so, and in that you'll find the 8 fragrances in the collection. Let me just put this back together. So I have to say, guys, I think the presentation is really well done. You know, I don't have any other sort of coverette sets. There are a few more I want, like there's some Zerjoff ones I want. I think the Oud Stars line and the XJ line. Not that many other of these sets I want, but I think these sets are great ideas because it gets you a glimpse at what's in these. So what I'm going to do with you guys is briefly go through each scent. I'm not going to give you the note breakdown. That's accessible to find online, and then I'm going to let you know my opinion on each, whether I think it's full bottle worthy, and then let you know whether or not I think this collection overall is worth owning. So let's go through it in order of least favorite to most favorite. Now my least favorite is this guy, and this one is called Aqua Vitae, okay? And a 70 ml of Aqua Vitae is $185, 200 ml is $245, and my main beef with this fragrance is that with Universalis already in the line, there's no need for another lightly scented water. You know, you could make the argument that Universalis is about smelling clean, and this one's sort of about being fresh and sparkling, but they both do the same thing. They're both light and clean and airy. This one has notes of lemon and tonka bean and hedione and vanilla and gaiac wood, and it is actually very nice. It opens up very in a sparkly manner with some high quality lemon, but it's gone very quickly on my skin. And to me, this one is pretty much a waste. You know, it's a better version of the 100 light and fresh scents that clog up the aisles at TJ Maxx and Marshall's. So for me, Vitae is really not that interesting. The next one that's a little bit more, I like a little bit more than Aqua Vitae, is called Lumiere pour Homme. Second least favorite of the group, and this one is a rose scent, and you folks know I'm not a huge fan of rose scents. I have to say that this one is decidedly masculine. It's surrounded by patchouli, artemisia, and cinnamon. $175 for 70 ml. Pretty popular among Kurkdjian fans. It's an EDT, and my best description for this one is a dark rose scent for men. And in that sort of genre, if I'm ever going to purchase a dark spicy rose scent, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to go with 88 by Check and Speak or Rose d'Arab by Armani Privé. So this one isn't my cup of tea either. The next one, my third least favorite, is called APOM, or A Piece of Me. And this one, the idea behind this one was an orange blossom fragrance. Orange blossom is usually used in women's scents, and Kurkdjian wanted to use orange blossom to make a men's scent. He's already used orange blossom in Fleur de Mail, and that's a scent that a lot of guys think is too feminine. This one's really different. It's got amber notes along with the orange blossom. It retails at $175 for 70 ml. You've got cedar wood in this one. It's really well made, and the theme in all these to me is simplicity and quality. These are for the most part minimalist creations, and so the materials really need to shine, and they do here, but I just don't love the notes in this one. It's a clean, well-made scent, but again, to me, it sort of accomplishes what Aqua Universalis and Universalis Forte do, which is basically being a clean, well-made scent. Now, the next one, my fourth least favorite, believe it or not, is actually Aqua Universalis Forte. And it's a flanker to the scent in the collection called Aqua Universalis. And this one is basically Aqua Universalis with a concentration dialed up to 40% perfume. Quite expensive though. 70 mLs is $275. And in a little bit, I'm going to explain why I like the original better than this. So the next four, we're starting to get into the ones that I enjoy. And the fifth one is called Masculin Pluriel. And this one is Kurkdjian's take on the very classic fougere fragrance. You get lavender absolute from Provence in here, leather, cedar, patchouli, and vetiver. And to me, this one is sort of an exclusive men's club fragrance. It's really, really nice, really good niche fragrance for a mature gentleman. It's an EDT, and 70 ml goes for $185. A nice scent. It's not that much different than the fougères that were being produced ad nauseum in the 1980s, but it's more refined and better composed, but it's not anything that special, and I personally wouldn't pay $185 for it. Now, next up, my third favorite is the original Aqua Universalis, okay? And Aqua Universalis means universal water, and this scent was made as a bridge between skin, clothes, bed linen, and air, and it smells as close to white as any other fragrance I've ever come across. It's crisp, it's clean, it's crisper and cleaner to me than its more expensive brother. This is orange blossom, lily of the valley, aldehydes, lemon, and bergamot, and you can get a 200 ml bottle of this one for $235. So I am pondering that once I run through my decant. I like this better than Forte because Forte, and this might sound weird, tries too hard. It's an intense version of this, and this is supposed to be subdued and restrained. So why would you want an intense version of something that's supposed to be restrained is my question. But if you like Neroli Portofino and Bergamotto Merino, give this one a good look. You might very well enjoy it. It might take some time though. The second favorite in this collection for me, guys, is the oud. The oud is really nice. It smells of a higher quality than a Montal oud, and because it's pretty unadorned, it's got to be of a good quality. It's peppery, it's leathery, there's a nice sweetness to it, almost like a honey quality in the dry down. It's definitely excellent. Not sure I would buy it with that $300 price tag for 70 ml, but I really like this one, and I've worn it a few times and have enjoyed it each time I've worn it. I think it's a great oud for people who might be scared off of the idea of oud. As it dries down, it gets really nice and cozy. It's just a nice oud. I think it's an excellent fragrance. And then, guys, you have my favorite of the group, and my favorite of the group is a fragrance that's called Amoris. Amoris is just incredible, and once I run through my sample, I'm going to get a full bottle of this. Amoris is a type of wood that smells like a cross between sandalwood and cedar, so it's really quite beautiful, and this at its heart is a very woody fragrance. You've got some mandarin at the top, which gives the perfume some brightness, and then you've got iris resinoid, and iris resinoid has a dark chocolate aroma to it, and this scent is bright and it's woody and it's gourmand because it's got coconut, it's got coffee, it's got tonka bean. It's beautifully composed, it's beautifully balanced. It's just an amazing fragrance. It's casual but can also be dressy. It's certainly signature scent worthy in my opinion, and if you haven't checked this one out, please check Amoris out. So guys, there's probably two here that I'd buy at full price, and that's Aqua Universalis and Amoris, and maybe I'd pick up oud. I really like this scent though because it gave me some real insight into Francis Kurkdjian. I wish more houses would offer these sets. It sort of forces you to decide whether or not you really want a bottle of something, and you think you might want a bottle of a certain fragrance because reviewers hype it. You know, an example is that I thought Universalis Forte was the scent for me from this house, and I never would have thought that I'd either really want regular Universalis or Amoris, which I hardly ever hear talked about. But for me, guys, dead honest, the takeaway is that I'm just not a huge fan of the majority of work of Francis Kurkdjian, and I'm going to keep it 100. Two of my friends, Steven and Carlos, two gentlemen who I have immense respect for. Carlos is like the mayor of Fragranz and just a really good person. Steven's also a really nice person, and in my eyes, a top 3 reviewer. And they interviewed Francis Kurkdjian at Oswald, and I just didn't like the way he came off. I thought he was evasive. To me, it seemed like he really didn't want to be doing the interview. It just didn't endear me to the other perfumers that I've seen guys like Carlos and Frunkinator interview, Yo, Shandy Tower, Roja Dove, Sarah Carter. They all came off really well to me. Now, with that said, that's just my opinion, and everyone has those opinions. But my point is that I'm not a huge fan of this house, but I do not let that cloud my judgment. And when Kurkdjian makes a scent that I like, it's way up there for me. Le Male, Narciso, Amoris, Eau Noire. I think those are all incredible, 100% unique, and the work of nothing less than an unrivaled talent. So I'm not going to rate a set, but if you're interested in this house, check the collection out, as they have a women's one as well. And 11 ml of each fragrance is like 20 to 25 wearings. Time 8, that's 200 plus wearings of these scents. And Oud and Forte are both in that $300 range. So this is a great deal and a great set, and I'm really happy I purchased it. No regrets at all. Now let me just show you guys real quick, because I forgot to, what each bottle looks like. It basically has the name, Aqua Vitae, Francis Kurkdjian, the concentration, and either a gold or silver atomizer, and they work really well. So there you go, guys. That is my take on the Francis Kurkdjian scent. Please let me know if you have any questions that I can answer for you, and I'll see you guys real soon with another review. I'm Maximilian.
She don't drink or know how L look. Chanel look mixed with the Pete Arnell look. You just stay pretty while I'm running the city. When I whip the V, you can hold a joint if you with me. Vacation costs $150.